Welcome to Positive Motivation, the key to high achievement. I'm Jeffrey Hodges. This cassette is the third in a series of audio cassettes on mental conditioning and emotional training for improved sports performance. The information contained on this cassette and on the others in the Sportsmind series will provide you with practical skills and techniques that you can use now to significantly improve your sports performances. No matter what your sport is, the skills of the sports mind will help you get more out of your game and out of yourself. If you're serious about playing to a higher standard in your sport, then I also strongly recommend attending a Sportsmind workshop, or better still, a Sportsmind holiday training program. These workshops and holiday camps allow you to experience all the Sportsmind techniques and skills firsthand and apply them in practice to your sport. For information on Sportsmind workshops or Sportsmind holidays, or if you'd like to obtain further Sportsmind tapes, please contact me at the address provided on the label of this cassette. Finally, as with all the Sportsmind tapes, Side A of this tape provides a spoken summary of a key area of mental conditioning, while Side B comprises a practical sports improvement, relaxation and visualization exercise. Obviously, it's suggested that for safety's sake you don't listen to Side B while driving a car or doing anything else that might require your full attention. Secondly, as with all the Sportsmind tapes, I suggest that you listen to this tape a minimum of 6 times at spaced intervals. Research has shown that most people forget over half of everything they hear today within 24 hours and only remember 2% of what they heard a week later unless they re-listen or involve themselves in the listening in an active way. So please do involve yourself actively in listening to this material. I've provided stop and think pauses at regular intervals, and I encourage you to stop the tape at these places and think about how what I've just spoken about relates to you and your sport. Doing this will allow you to personalize the knowledge and practical techniques to your sports situations. So now, look forward to 60 minutes of Sportsmind instruction that will positively enhance your sports performances. Motivation makes the difference between a life of positive contribution and one of lethargic consumption, between an athlete achieving their potential and one not living up to their talents. But what is motivation? How do we get motivated? How do you develop it in yourself and in others? What is it that motivates us? Put simply, motivation is an energy to do, to accomplish. In order to understand this energy a little better, try this exercise now. Think of a time when you were really motivated to do something, when you really felt that energy to do inside of you. Take the time to remember where you were, what you were thinking, and how you motivated yourself. What did you do in your mind? What did you imagine? What did you say to yourself in order to feel that motivation? Now let me remind you of something I spoke of in the last tape. All behaviours, including how we motivate ourselves, are a result of a mental strategy or a mental program. Everything you do is a result of something you do in your head first. What I want you to become aware of is your motivation strategy. What specifically do you do in your mind to motivate yourself? Stop the tape now and do the exercise. Remember a time when you were really motivated and analyze what you did in your mind to feel that way. Stop the tape and do this now. Welcome back. You'll probably find that you used one of two simple strategies to motivate yourself: a positive motivation strategy or a negative motivation strategy. Essentially, there are only two types of motivation: positive and negative. Now, negative doesn't mean bad and positive doesn't mean good. I define negative motivation as a form of motivation that moves you away from a negative happening or experience, moving you away from something you don't want to happen. And the motivating part of negative motivation is the thought of something bad happening. Negative motivation often comes from an external source with the threat of some kind of punishment if you don't do something. For example, your parents saying you have to clean up your room or mow the lawn, otherwise you can't go out on Saturday night. Or your coach saying you should try harder or you'll never make the team. Or your teacher saying you must have the essay handed in by Monday morning, otherwise you'll get detention, and so on. Of course, you can also motivate yourself in this negative way. For example, leaving early for work so you're not late, or doing your homework assignments because you don't want to fail, and so on. Positive motivation, on the other hand, moves you towards a positive happening or experience, moving you towards something which you do want. The motivating part of positive motivation is the thought of something good happening. For example, someone going to the gym 3 times a week because they like the way they look and feel when they work out regularly. Or working to a study timetable because you want a good grade. Or putting in 100% effort in training because you desire to be in the starting lineup for the game on the weekend. Now, negative motivation can work up to a point. However, the consequences of the two types of motivation are very different. Negative motivation can cause excessive anxiety and tension, while positive motivation energizes and arouses you. Negative motivation causes you to imagine what you don't want, while positive motivation gets you thinking about what you do want. And as I've mentioned in earlier tapes, it's so important to have a positive focus because we move toward what we think about. So you want to be picturing what you want rather than what you don't want. It's been found that the top performers in any sport are all motivated positively. What motivates them are strong desires for their dreams and goals. One easy way to identify your current motivation strategy is to simply listen to the words you use when you're motivating yourself or others. What words do you use when you want to motivate yourself or someone else to do something? If you're saying to yourself things like, "I have to go to training today," or "I've got to improve my fitness," or "I should get up earlier and do such and such," or "I must try harder," then you're using a negative motivation strategy and you're not managing yourself as effectively as you could. Remember, positive motivation grows out of desire and wanting, not from shoulds or have-tos. And I believe that the more you can choose to live your life and do tasks from a want-to, choose-to way of thinking and talking to yourself, the better your life works and the more successful you are in the long run. Working this way, you manage yourself better because you don't get resistance from yourself because you feel forced to do something. Remember how you felt when your parents said you had to help with the dishes or clean up your room or do some other household chore? You felt pushed and you resisted, didn't you? And as a result, your heart wasn't in it. The same thing happens when you speak to yourself in that way. If you use have-tos, you'll find yourself subconsciously resisting yourself. So from now on, every time you hear yourself say should or have to or must about a task that you're undertaking, stop and deliberately change the words to want to. You want to. It's easy to hear and feel the difference when you use a positive motivation strategy. Rather than shoulds or have-tos, use words such as like to, desire to, and want to. You want to do this to improve your motivation. Of course, if you're a coach or a teacher wanting to build motivation in others, then this is doubly important, isn't it? Listen to how you've been talking to your players. Have you been building one-twos based on strongly desired goals and dreams, or are you telling them that they should train harder, or have to concentrate more, or must be more determined to win? So start practicing motivating yourself positively rather than negatively. Try it now. Think of some tasks that are on your agenda to do today. Something for work, or a training session for your sport perhaps. And as you think of them now, rather than say, I have to do such and such today, think instead, I really want to spend 2 hours at the gym tonight. Or I really want to practice my chipping for an hour this afternoon. Or I really want to push myself hard at training tonight. Or whatever. Stop the tape and spend a few minutes doing this now. Think about what you have to do today in a want to, choose to way. Stop the tape and do this now. Welcome back. I said earlier that positive motivation comes out of a desire for dreams and goals. You want to have a dream. You want to have a dream. Psychologists suggest that positive motivation is a result of cognitive dissonance between the dream and reality. What you see out there is not what you have in your head, in your heart. And so you motivate yourself to do whatever needs to be done to make those two pictures match up. Having dreams and goals then is important because the only thing that will keep you fighting to win when the going gets tough is a dream focused into a specific goal. Nothing else will. The only thing that will keep you fighting to win when you're a set down and it's 5 games to 1 and match point against you and it's hot and you're tired is a dream. The only thing that will keep you out there in the cold and rain at training when you're wet and uncomfortable is a dream. The only thing that will get you up and pushing forward to make another tackle in the last minutes of the game when your body is aching and exhausted is a dream. Nothing else will. If you're motivating yourself negatively or for someone else's dreams, then you'll eventually lose heart. Now, a lot of people try to work the other way. They think that if they train hard and do all the things that they see the top players do, then they'll also succeed. But let me tell you, it doesn't work that way. The breaks go to the people with dreams. You want to have a dream. Somehow the dream itself provides the motivation and the means for its accomplishment. So what are your current dreams for yourself in your sport? Stop the tape for a few minutes now and think about what you'd like to achieve in your sport. What are your dreams? Stop the tape and do this now. Having a dream is important, but lots of people have dreams, yet they never achieve them. So how do you turn dreams into reality? One of the keys is to understand how you got to be where you are now. Because where you are now was at one time just a dream, wasn't it? There was a time when, for instance, you hadn't even started playing or competing in your chosen sport, and to reach the level you're at now was just a dream. Isn't it so? So what was it that brought that dream into reality? What is it that precedes all of our actions, all of our behaviours, all of our performances in every area of our lives? It's our decisions, isn't it? Your decisions precede all your actions and therefore determine who you become. Everything in your life, including your current level of performance in your sport, is determined by the decisions you've made and are making right now. The decisions that you're making right now as you listen to this tape are determining what you think, how you feel, what you do, and who you become. And if you ask yourself why a particular player is currently better than you, then the answer is probably that they've simply made different decisions than you. Different decisions about how they spend their time. Different decisions about how they respond to setbacks or defeats. Different decisions about their approach to training. And most importantly, different decisions about what they expect of themselves and about what they want to achieve in their sport. You see, most people don't make a decision about what level of performance they want to play at all. They just hope they play well and then wish they played better. Don't let that be you. The fact is that if you don't decide what level of performance you want to play at, then really you've made a decision anyway, haven't you? You've decided to be directed by the environment and by other people instead of by your own decisions, by your own sports goals. I'm sure you've all heard some of the excuses that people give for not achieving more in their sport. I'm too old, or I'm too young, or I don't have enough money, or I don't have enough time, or I'm not tall enough, or I don't have the right build, or I haven't had much opportunity, and so on. Maybe you've used some of those yourself. I know I used to. But do understand that all of those things are conditions. And it's not the conditions which direct your life, but rather your decisions. It's what you decide to do, given whatever conditions you currently have, that makes the difference in your life and in your sports performances. It's what you decide to do, given whatever conditions you currently have, that makes the difference. Now, I don't deny that some people are born with genetic advantages. Some people have a fantastic sports physique. Others have financial advantages. Their parents are rolling in money. Others have environmental advantages. They live in a place with all the best training facilities close to hand. Others have family advantages. They've had 3 generations of footballers or cricketers or whatever in their family. But you know what?